name is Allison. I'm the Programs, Outreach, and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Backyard Science. Today we are going to be talking about hummingbirds, and I am in my backyard right now trying to film some hummingbirds for this video, and I keep hearing them chirp, 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 chirp all around me, and I hear their little wings buzzing around, but they're too quick for my camera. So maybe during the time that I'm talking to you about some cool things about hummingbirds, you'll see some flying around in the background, and hopefully I'll be able to get a few on video for this video. Hummingbirds are one of my favorite animals. They are my favorite bird because they are so cute and small and colorful, and they're just really magical to me when they fly up to your face. You know, some of them get really close if you're standing nice and still, and they're just so cute and small. There are more than 320 different kinds of hummingbirds. That is a lot of hummingbirds, but they are all very small. Hummingbirds are the world's smallest birds, with some as small as 2 inches. That is not very big. Next time you have a ruler out, look at 2 inches. That's a tiny little bird. Hummingbirds get their food from flowers, and they use their long tongues in their beaks to reach deep down into flowers to get out the nectar. They also help to pollinate flowers and gardens by buzzing from flower to flower, and the pollen gets on their heads. And so when they move to another flower, the pollen comes off and they help to pollinate, which helps flowers to grow. You probably know from seeing hummingbirds that they move very quickly, and that means that they're burning a lot of energy while they're moving. A hummingbird's heart can beat as many times as 1,200 times per minute. That is a lot of times. It's 1,200 times per minute. So because they're moving so much, they have to eat a lot of food to make sure that they keep their energy levels up. So they have to visit thousands of flowers in one day to make sure they're getting enough nutrients to power their little bodies. In addition to eating the nectar from flowers, hummingbirds also eat small insects, which is something that I didn't know before doing the research for this video. Hummingbirds are the only animals that can fly in all directions. So they can fly up, down, side to side. They can even fly backwards and of course forwards, and they can fly upside down. So sometimes when you're seeing 2 hummingbirds who are kind of getting into a fight with each other, you'll see them moving in all sorts of crazy directions. And now you know that they are the only birds that can do that. Hummingbirds fly around, but of course they have feet. However, their feet are not used for walking, but to help them perch on little branches when they need a little break. Some hummingbirds stay in one place all year round, while others migrate, which means they go from one location to another depending on the season. Hummingbirds are also very territorial, so you'll oftentimes see them defending their territory by dive bombing another hummingbird. And this is what I was talking about when you see hummingbirds getting into little fights and flying in all sorts of crazy directions. Hummingbirds like to have a perch where they can sit to view their territory. And if they see another hummingbird inside their territory, they might get a little mad and try to kick that hummingbird out. So what can you do if you want to see some hummingbirds in your garden? Well, one thing that you can do is just be patient and wait. I know that if I sit outside in my garden long enough, I'll end up seeing a couple flying by. They're also fairly easy to spot on walks if you're walking somewhere with a lot of flowers. So if you're able to take a trip to a little garden, you'll probably see some hummingbirds. A lot of you might have something like this in your yard, a hummingbird feeder. Now, one thing that I will caution you with these hummingbird feeders is that they need to be really thoroughly cleaned. So as you can see, mine is pretty dirty, and I don't actually have it outside anymore because I haven't cleaned it for a while. If you're not cleaning your hummingbird feeder regularly, you can actually give your hummingbirds in your garden diseases. They can get sick from the dirt inside of the hummingbird feeder, and that's not what we want. So if you have a hummingbird feeder, did you hear that? That's a hummingbird chirping at me. I can't see where it is in the tree right now, but it's around somewhere. Anyways, as I was saying, If you have one of these, make sure that you clean it every time that you refill it. You want to make sure that it's not attracting ants with the sugar water inside, and you want to make sure there's no dirt buildup so that the hummingbirds that visit your garden stay nice and healthy. Another great thing that you can do is plant hummingbird-friendly plants in your garden. So you can do some research through the library or take a visit to your local nursery or garden center and talk to an employee there about which plants will attract hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are not actually attracted to the scent of flowers, but to the colors. They like bright colors like bright, vibrant purples, oranges, and of course red, which is why hummingbird feeders tend to be red. A common misconception or myth is that hummingbird juice that goes inside of a feeder needs to be red. That's not true. That won't attract the hummingbirds, and actually sometimes the red is a harmful dye that is put inside of the hummingbird juice. So it's always best to just get clear hummingbird juice if you're purchasing it. I hope that you learned some fun things about hummingbirds today, and I would encourage you, if you have any follow-up questions about hummingbirds, to check out some books on hummingbirds from your local MCFL library. I know that one question that I still have is, where do hummingbirds go when it rains? They're so tiny, I worry about them getting wet. So I'll do some research on that, and I encourage you to do some research on your own questions that you might have about hummingbirds. For this video, I pulled some information from 2 different books. One is called About Hummingbirds, A Guide for Children by Catherine Sill, and this is available in our collection, as is this book, Hummingbirds by Bonnie Bader, which is another book that I used for the information for this video. You can check either of those books out or any other books about hummingbirds or other things you want to explore by visiting our website www.emcfl.org or taking a trip to your nearest MCFL branch and talking to a library staff person there. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you stay curious, and we will see you next time on Backyard Science. Bye, everybody. It's hard to see, but there is a hummingbird on a branch back here. I'm gonna get a little bit closer, see if we can get it on film. You see it? It's perched on that branch.